Metal arms, metal legs, computerized hearing and vision. In the process, he becomes an enhanced human, more machine than man, a cyborg.
Alright, here's go. It's dead.
But could RoboCop ever walk our streets? Could we ever become cyborgs? Science fiction already green. It's already happening. People's bodies are becoming less natural and more artificial all the time.
To many people, the image of a cyborg is what you see in RoboCop. A little bit of human stuck in a lot of machinery. And this makes us feel a little horrible, a little frightened. And yet, look at us today. In many ways, we're already cyborgs.
Walking around today are people who have been augmented by the best that engineering can offer. If your health demands it, you get access to artificial hips, an artificial heart and other organs, artificial joints, even replacement bone. Because it's so widely available, few people think such augmentation unusual. It's already on a par with other artificial body parts like eyeglasses or contact lenses.
Whatever most people are using at any given time, it's taken for granted, and we won't call that cyborg. So the time may come when we all change legs in order to run to the store, and then change into other legs for swimming.
For some, such a future would be very welcome. Max Moore is one member of a group of cyborg enthusiasts called the Extropians. He believes people will only realize their true potential through a final bonding with machines.
Nature has produced these incredible human bodies, these trillion-plus cell biomechanical bodies. But I think we shouldn't rest content with them. We should strive to improve them through the old methods. But certainly, it's really our obligation in a way, certainly our opportunity to use our intelligence, our technology, our science to augment and improve and refine our bodies.
Some scientists agree. They say we're about to witness the dawn of the cyborg. Robotics expert Hans Smarovich can't wait to see it happen. He believes cyborg bodies will have many advantages over the human original.
We already know there are stronger materials in biology. Titanium, I-beam is stronger than your bones. There are motors that have higher power to weight ratio than your muscles. There are sensors that have greater sensitivity than your eyes or your ears.
As a roboticist, Smarovich spends a lot of time with his machines. He believes they're the ideal model for a new, improved human body.
I think people will choose to gradually replace parts of themselves with superior equivalents, just as they choose to supplement their skin, with warmer clothing.
For now, however, body part replacement is driven not by choice, but by need. Here in Denmark, medical scientists are helping accident victims regain control of dead limbs by hooking them up to computers. 2 years ago, an accident left Danish motorcyclist Brian Holgersen paralyzed. I broke my neck. Just across the middle of the neck. And that basically means I'm paralyzed from here down.
So, those are actually my answers. You see, I can build my own asteroid chip.
Brian Holgerson is the cyborg of today, and the technology you find inside his body is as remarkable as any science fiction story. In patients who are paralyzed, the nerves and muscles in the body are still active. The problem is that the link between the body and the brain is broken. Scientists at this Danish university are trying to control the body by taking over the functions of the nervous system. Electrodes relay the output of Brian Holgerson's nerves through an amplifier. You can actually see and hear the nerves responding to any pressure applied to the skin. There are over 20 electrodes embedded in his hand and arm. Each one has to be individually tuned before use. When the electrodes pick up signals from the nerves in Holgerson's fingers, they prompt the computer to trigger his hand to close. The system is still experimental and only works in the lab. But what does it feel like to be part cyborg?
The first time I looked at it, I'm like, wow, this is strange. These objects in my arm, which one will be supposed to be? But now I don't really think about it. This comes quite natural.
Cyborg technology today is driven by the need to replace bits of ourselves which have stopped working. But future cyborgs will be people augmented by high-performance mechanical parts. So what would it be like to overcome the physical limitations of the human body?
The human body as it is today is in many ways very weak compared to certain animals. We can't survive great extremes in temperature, heat or cold. I personally find it frustrating that I couldn't hike to the top of Mount Everest without a lot of extra equipment. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could, by implanting technologies in our body, by modifying ourselves, if we could survive underwater, swim underwater, if we could move into airless environments, move about in space without cumbersome spacesuits, go high on mountains, go down deep into mine shafts, for instance, exploring under the earth. Those are the kind of applications I'd like to see.
Imagine your body a mechanical aid as you would any other limb, just by thinking about it. What possible futures could there be if we could adapt our bodies to match up with our wildest dreams? If you wanted to hurry home from work, what would be the quickest way you could imagine? Cyborgs are humans with high-tech implants. In the future, mechanical enhancement could make us stronger and fitter. But as well as super strength, a man-machine interface could also give us super senses, infrared vision, X-ray eyes. In nature, many animals already have super senses. They can see and hear things beyond the range of humans. Starlings use ultraviolet vision to spot their mates. Snakes use infrared to hunt their prey. Bats are almost blind, but can find their way around using a guidance system based on sound waves, a kind of sonar. But could future technology help mere humans acquire such powers? If so, would we want them? The U.S. Army certainly does. The Army is well on the way to equipping trained soldiers with super senses. These GIs are on maneuvers, but unlike the infantry of other nations, they have a distinct advantage. They're equipped with the latest in battlefield technology, a modern-day suit of armor, which gives access to enhanced hearing and vision. It's called Land Warrior.
What's exciting about Land Warrior is it brings new technology. Technology of computers, technology of enhancing light, of thermal imagery, and being able to enhance the capability of the soldier by enhancing some of his sensory perception.
In addition, the Land Warrior system includes a personal computer, maps, weather information, the position of the enemy, all can be fed directly to each soldier via a special eyepiece. The Army calls it situational awareness.
One of the important features of Land Warrior is the increased situational awareness. It gains us through the computer system, it gains us through the sighting system, it gains us through the communication system. He's no longer alone out there on the battlefield. He fully understands what he is, where the enemy is, where his motives are.
But the eyepiece gives access to even more. Mounted on the rifle each soldier carries is a TV camera, a laser rangefinder, and an infrared thermal imagery. And that means soldiers can see through fog and smoke. They can see in the dark. They can even see around the corners.
Let's imagine a situation where the squad moving from a covered and concealed position now moving into the village. As they move in there, going through the buildings, walking down dark hallways, peering into rooms, they can do this with the Land Warrior capability by looking around the corner, either with the thermal weapon sight or with the video.
The enhanced vision of Land Warrior is based on thermal sensing technology. This allows a soldier's sight to come not from the light reflected around him, but from heat. Imagine the potential civilian uses. Fire departments across America are already using thermal imaging to help them in their work. Heat-based vision helps firefighters see through dense smoke, pinpoint the source of the fire, and to detect hidden hotspots. But for some people, thermal vision would only be the beginning. With augmented senses, the world of science will never be the same again.
You can see in the infrared and ultraviolet, see microwaves, emissions from the stars. I think our world is impressively wide and open up. You can see far more of what the world is there. To us, it's completely invisible unless we look through scientific instruments. I would like to pull those scientific instruments into myself.
Medical scientists are now developing technology which could lead us to looking at the world literally in a whole new way. Here in Baltimore, at the Johns Hopkins Hospital, scientists are taking the first steps to equipping human beings with super sight. This patient is completely blind. She suffers from a rare eye disease. She volunteered to help Eugene DeJuan and his surgical team with a revolutionary piece of research. DeJuan is developing a new kind of eye implant, a vision chip based on computer technology, which one day could help the blind to see.
There are lots of experiments being done about electrical stimulation, but really, there's been very little done about putting it inside of the eye. The reason is that there was no surgery that gave us the confidence that we could actually put a device inside an organ as delicate as the eye.
It's still early days for the research team at Johns Hopkins, but they've already developed a prototype implant that's smaller than a dime.
We have a chip here that maybe you can see it's quite small, and the center area, the little silver area, the center of that chip, which is just a little bit bigger maybe than my pupil, is one of the first attempts at the computer chip manufacturer to kind of mimic some of these retinal functions.
To understand how the vision chip works, we must first look at how the eye itself works. Eugene DeJuan explains.
The eye is like a camera. The front part of the eye is like the lens of the camera. It focuses the light coming in to the back of the camera, which is the retina. Okay? So the retina is like the film of the camera. And in the retina, there are cells that are light sensitive. All those photoreceptors.
When the photocells are damaged, the eye can't work. That's where the vision chip comes in. Placed behind the retina in the back of the eye, it converts light into electrical signals, which stimulate the vision centers. In this experiment,